Today I'm working on my 560 SEC. I got some parts in the mail. Hopefully I'll be able to maybe fix the idle issue I've been having. I got a new distributor cap, a new rotor, and I got the belt for the AC. So I'll try to put that on, and then we'll see if the pump kicks on, if there's any air conditioning, or if we need to dig further into that. Let's get to work. First thing we're going to do is take this plastic cover off. After we take the cover off, we'll be at the cap, and then we'll just want to transfer the wires in accordance to the current setup. So I'll get that new cap out, and we'll just plug and play, follow the consistent order so we don't mess up the firing order. These are some long screws here. There we go. Just one more here. There's 3 total. So hopefully this will help the starting of the car, because it kind of has a weird start when you fire it up. So hopefully that'll fix that. I lied. You didn't even need to unscrew that. You just have to pop this off. But you do need to unscrew it to change the cap out. I'm sorry. But first this comes off. And then you have your cap. Somebody already wired this old one. Let's see. The old one is a Bosch as well, so that's good. But typically they are orange and black. Yeah, this one is the new one. I'll take a look at the points in here if you guys could see all this, how nice and clean all this is. And I'll show you how bad the other one is, because I've already oh, and this has numbers already on here for the firing order, so that's nice. Yep. Take the first one off. You know what? I'm gonna take a rag and clean these. They're pretty dirty. Much better. Get all that dust and crap off of there. Pop this one onto one. Okay, that one's on. Go with 4 next. Oh, it's on there pretty tough. Well, the screws, they don't fall out, so don't worry about those. I could take this tape off somebody left on here. This one's going to 4. Kind of go here. You gotta hear the click. Once it clicks, then you know it's in. And then we'll go this one, which is 2. Number 2 here. Plug that into 2 on here. It's kind of like a crunch. Then we'll go to 3. The center one we know is the center one. Could take that one off. It's the only one. Differentiates itself. Then we'll have number 7. I already cut my hand open. Under the cap we'll have the rotor, which we'll replace as well. Okay, this one will go to 7, which is there. Take number 5 off. It's number 5. There's gonna be blood everywhere. My finger's bleeding. I cut myself, of course. Number 5 goes here. Gnarly. So yeah, watch out because the plastic is relatively sharp here. I know this one goes to 5. So we'll just slide this on here. The last 2 we have the tape on. 6 and 8. I'll put those on last. Let me remove this cap. Well, let me show you this. Look at this. This is toast. See how these points are burnt? Bad contact when the car ignites, and I have to get a Band-Aid. Oh boy. So yeah, this is garbage. All right, Band-Aid on, we're back in action. So, there's the rotor, also worn. Tip is pretty worn. I'll take it off and show you. I want to take it off and put it back same position it's in. It only moves so much, so. See if I could get this in here. This is just a dust cap here. Pretty clean there.
Take a look at this burnt out tip. It's uneven, so it's getting a bad spark. Out with that. In with the new. Show you guys the new one. Nice and clean. Okay. Could safely reinstall. Well, actually, let's get these wires back here. Reinstall this. Make sure you guys are getting this. Line this up. Screw your screws back in. I could do this a little bit quicker now. And then hand tighten it. Nice and snug. Don't want to overdo it. It's plastics, could crack, strip the thread or whatever. You know, the fun stuff. Get your main cable for the coil. And let's feed it on top here. Click all of these now. Make sure they're nice and secure. So you have a good connection. This one was a 6. Take that sticker off. Put the 6 back where it belongs, just here. These wires are pretty snug here. I'm going to take this out and feed it over top here. This one clears. So you want to put your cap back on. You got to make sure that all of these are in a position where they'll clear. Pretty simple job, and it'll fix your firing issues if you're having those. Let's see. I'm gonna get this one out of here again. Somebody who put this on didn't really put it in the best way now. It'll be nice and bunched up. You got this guy here, kind of in the way. Oh, there we go. All right. If I put it on right, it should be like this, I believe. Yes. Okay. Let's move this one now. Some fine tuning here. sure all of your teeth are lined up on the plastic cover. Most people break these. You don't want it flying off either. And going into the engine bay. All right. Let's see if she cranks any better. I'll leave the camera here for you guys to see. So I'll leave the camera here for you guys to see. Fire this thing up. Hopefully the camera doesn't fall. And it fell. So it did fire better. So that's good. Let's try to get to that AC belt. Looks like fun. I'm gonna have to remove the fan shroud, and that'll give me some access over there. So first thing we're gonna want to do is take off the coolant hose. I'll go get my clamps, clamp this down, unscrew this, then you got your 4 bolts on the fan. Take those out. And then take these clips out, and this thing will slide right up. Of course, this doesn't want to come out easy. Never fucking easy. Piece of shit fucking thing. Stupid motherfucker. Alright, so we got our hose clamped. Made a mess. I'm going to get some brake cleaner and clean that up. You should probably put a oil pan or a catch pan if you don't want to mess like I made. So put a towel here, I'll wipe that off, but just loosen all these bolts. Trick to these bolts is you have to use 1 wrench, 110 millimeter on the left, 1 on the right, and hold back and loosen each individually, and then at the end tighten one. Not like crazy tight, but tight enough where you can loosen the last bolt, and then those will come out, and then you'll take your whole fan assembly out. Then we'll pop this out, and then we'll have access to the front bolt on this idler pulley for the AC, and there's that 17 that you need to mess around with to tighten the belt. So let's get these bolts loose here. I already loosened them, took one out, so should be a cakewalk now. Very tight space to work, but that's just Mercedes, isn't it? Only easy ones to work on are that have a lot of space are the old ones. And my wife is waiting on me to go to Costco, guys. The beloved weekend Costco trip. Oh, how I love those. This last bolt is being a little pain in the neck, and I dropped it, of course, so we'll have fun looking for that. So now, let's just pop this guy off. I'll use a flathead here. It's not cooperating. And we'll take this whole assembly. And we'll get the fan clutch out. There's your fan. And your shroud. Voila. Look at how much room you have. Amazing, isn't it? Just requires a little bit extra effort that no one ever wants to put in. And you always want to jam your hands in there and get them all cut up, just trying to save some time. But in reality, you waste more time when you could have just removed the fan and the plastic. So let's tackle this next. I'm gonna do all the other belts. Next one up is the alternator belt. There's a 17 mil here, you loosen, and then this is your adjustment. Loosen it from the back, and then we'll adjust it to release the tension. Then we'll take that guy off, and then we'll have access to the last two for your power steering and your water pump. And I have the air pump is kind of obsolete. I don't really need it, so I'm not going to put a belt on there. And yeah, so let's get to it. All right. I think we're in business here. All right, so got that belt off, so I have to loosen this screw back here. The teeth on this were stripped, of course, so I had to back the screw out more to release the tension, and then just slid the belt off this way. On to the next one, or next two, I should say. I just loosened this up. That's a 13. There's a 13 right on the bottom there, and there's another 13 right there. And then from the top here, there's an Allen bolt right there, and that'll pivot this left and right. So yeah, let's get to this one, and then we'll finish that up. Of course, this is all very tight, as usual. To MacGyver some of these. Dread doing these stupid belts on these cars. See, there's already less tension on there. Now let's see if I have the Allen here, or I have to go. It's fine. Oh, fine. That was. All right, so I just kept going at it because, of course, the socket wouldn't fit. And it should come off now. There she goes. So you got one belt off. Two belts off. Of course, it's getting stuck on the bottom here. Oh gosh, always something, guys. Never a dull moment. All right, it's one. And two. All right. Now to reinstall them. I'll clean this up first and then we'll reinstall them. All right, so I've decided to replace this hose, lower radiator hose along with the reservoir. Cleaned out a pan. Got a little ratcheting 8mm, so I don't have to go under the car. Back this screw up. And I'll remove this hose. Okay. That seems pretty loose. Back this. Bracket it up, which is not going, so. Wrong way. No, it was the right way. Alright. Should have some spillage here. Let me actually use my handy dandy clamps. These are too small, I need the bigger ones. And I'll clamp this hose here. I'll pull it off. Quite a bit of a mess. God, I love coolant spills. What about you guys? My favorite. Alright, so now I'll just remove this reservoir. Just right here. Got 3 9mm screws. Of course, I'm using a ridiculous ratchet. I don't feel like getting my other one. While we're in here, we'll go ahead and vacuum some of that debris up. And the final screw. And I gotta go get some snap ring pliers, of course. All-time favorite. Okay. Don't forget to unplug your sensor. We got it out. Woo! Amen. All right, got my snap ring pliers. Grab it. And it's off. Now we're going to want to pull this coolant level sensor. There's no ring. Toss this thing, and it's still the new one. Pop the new O-ring underneath this. Put it in, take out the plug that was there. You could use the new snap.
Alright, so to reinstall the belts, you're going to do everything reverse order as you did, taking them off, putting them back on. Over here I'm adjusting that screw to tighten the tension on the power steering reservoir, and as you're tightening it, it does move left to right, I'm sorry, forward to back, and once you get the right tension, which when you push down on the belt, you're going to want at least you know, enough resistance, whereas you can't turn the belt fully. I think you should only be able to turn it like a quarter way. So yeah, tighten up all your bolts. Make sure you tighten that tensioner for the AC clutch, and double check everything. As you can see, the turn I did right there. Slid the AC belt on and tighten those bolts up, tighten that tensioner up. That one's all set. Once you set the tension to the proper amount,
All right, so let me show you guys what exactly I did. I just finished up. Apparently I lost audio on my last clips, which sucks, but the Allen, I screwed that down. And you know, when you tighten it, the whole assembly moves up as long as all the 3 bolts are loosened on the power steering pump. And that came up. Tighten that down. Then with the fan shroud, caught all the screws. Then tighten them. And then it slid the pulley further onto the shaft of the water pump. And I did make a mistake. I had to re-loosen all that and take tension off of that because the holes, the bolt holes, were not lined up because I moved that pulley. So that's a little note for anyone that's doing that. Kind of a lesson for next time. You got the new hose for the radiator, new reservoir, all new belts. Plug that AC compressor plug back in. I ran out of time to do an oil change. I'll do an oil change next time. But I'm going to run to the store, top off the coolant, and we'll fire the car up and make sure everything's okay and see what's going to happen with the AC. Belts all look good. Pulling back, cap back on.
Pull this thing out. This thing up the garage.
Idle died down.
Let's turn all the lights in here. Let's see what happens if we turn the AC on now.
It's on. So that's good.
My idle is better, steady. Before it would rev high, so I wonder what the case of that was. Seems cool, but I don't think it's cold, so yeah, we'll just have to add Freon and go from there. All right, guys, that wraps it up for today's video. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and keep an eye out for more videos. And check out my last video. I'll leave the link down below. Till next time.